Probably one of the greatest sports comebacks in history, still relevant today, is Mr. and Miss Hogan in the car crash in 1949. Mr. and Miss Hogan were coming back from California, had a long week on the tour, ready to get home, just left Van Horn, Texas, ran into a brown fog, very dense. Mr. Hogan noticed that a Greyhound bus was in his lane coming right at them, passing another, I believe, an 18-wheeler. Right before the crash, Mr. Hogan threw himself over Valerie to protect her. In doing so, he really protected her from any injuries, but it destroyed him physically. His legs, his lower body, his pelvis was crushed. Doctors, after further observation, thought that Mr. Hogan may never walk again, much less pick up a golf club. As we found out 15 months later, Mr. Hogan wins the 1950 U.S. Open at Marion. Because of this story and in this light, the Ben Hogan Foundation has partnered with Texas Health Resources to create the Ben Hogan Award of Perseverance. We celebrate and we honor 4 amazing young men and women each year who have been involved in a tragic accident or an illness and who have overcome and persevered through their illness or through their accident, just as Mr. Hogan did. This award is both a scholarship and a grant. It's a scholarship for the student to attend a school of their choice, and it is also a grant to the school where the student participated. Not only did these students really persevere and return to their sport, these students that you'll see here today have been amazing inspirations in their community. They have become leaders and they have let a light shine in their community that would have never shined before. This award would not be possible if it wasn't for our corporate sponsors. The Ben Hogan Foundation and Texas Health Resources would like to thank Balfour Beatty, DJ Kelly Jr. Foundation, Frost Bank, and Hillwood Development. Thank you for your participation. We appreciate it.
I started to get more athletic, and then 8th grade year is just when I fell in love with basketball because I just loved playing with all the teammates. My coaches were just amazing, and everyone relied on me because I was the head point guard, and I just loved being relied on and leading the team. So the summer after my freshman year, I was in a UTV, and it had rained the night before, and I took a turn a little too sharp. The wheels caught the water puddle that was right there, and it hydroplaned, flipped, and slid. And when it slid, it captured my foot under it and took my foot with the slide.
The basketball coaches came to me and said, hey, this is kind of what's happened. They told me about Gabby's injury and basically at that point didn't know anything about it. Just that it was unlikely she was gonna play, but this is kind of what happened.
Comes to find out, my tissue did not take as well as they thought. And so a couple weeks in, they had to break the real news to me that I was gonna have a transmetatarsal, which was actually the amputation of my 5 toes, as well as the metatarsals that connect to my foot.
As the summer went on, what we found out, we start getting word that she was going to be able to play, and that there was going to be, of course, lots of rehab, and kind of lined out a plan with her, and then she worked with her PT as well, and pushed our way back until she was full go.
I am now back on the basketball court and couldn't be any happier with how my situation ended.
I nominated Gabby for the Ben Hogan Perseverance Award because she stood out to me. She just had more of a drive than anybody else I've seen to come back and be successful at sport again, or just be successful at getting back from that kind of accident. Because lots of people would have said, you know what, I'm happy with walking. I'm happy with just being able to be a teenager and be back to normal. She wanted to be back to sport. That pressed on me enough that she deserved something like this.
Perseverance means that I see it as kicking down the wall that's in front of you. You know, pushing through, coming out of something that others don't think that you can really come out of, but you proving the fact that you came out of something that others did not think was going to happen.
Gabby was able to just persevere through this and push through the accident, through surgery, through rehab. And honestly, as a junior and senior, I see her being one of the leaders on the varsity team. Seeing what's to come, I think she's going to be extremely successful.
All the medical around me, everything, just seeing people work all day just to help others. I know for sure I want to go into the medical field with pediatric amputees and tell them that they can do it. I want to help those kids get through what they're getting through because I have been through that.
Gabby, on behalf of the Ben Hogan Foundation, all the board of directors, our CEO, Robert Stennett, and Texas Health Resources, we'd like to present you the Ben Hogan Medal of Perseverance. Today, we not only celebrate your courage, but your amazing perseverance to be involved in a tragic accident and come back to your sport. Not only have you come back to your sport to play, but you've been an amazing inspiration to a lot of kids, your community, and to never give up and always keep trying, and we congratulate you. We know Mr. Hogan will be proud. Once again, congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, I picked up a baseball bat around when I was 4, and ever since I picked the bat up, I just couldn't stop swinging it. I would play catch with my dad in the backyard, and he'd throw to me, and I'd smack it over the fence every now and then. Played summer ball, played fall ball, just baseball all year round, too busy to do anything else. Going into my sophomore year, I started having some back pain to later find out that I had a tumor on my back, and after a biopsy, it was found out to be stage 4 neuroblastoma.
Working as an athletic trainer, we typically deal with musculoskeletal injuries and things of that nature. So finding out that Adam had cancer, not only cancer, but stage 4 neuroblastoma, it was a whole new ball game for us. It was certainly a shock to all of Nimitz, our Nimitz family and the community. It's just not something we anticipate in our young athletes.
And I had to go through about 24 rounds of chemo, 2 back-to-back bone marrow transplants, about 12 rounds of immunotherapy, and several other surgeries after that. That went on for about 2.5 years. I started missing baseball after I got diagnosed, probably immediately.
We absolutely had to rein in Adam. He's a social kid, he's a competitive kid, he wants to be out there, a little bit on the fearless edge maybe.
All I wanted to do was get back to that field and get back to that field, and that's all I could focus on, and that's what really pushed me, and that was like my like pure motivation.
I nominated Adam for the Ben Hogan Perseverance Award because he's more than deserving. He's a kid that we watched come back from some serious odds against him, a lot of adversity, at times wondering how things were going to turn out. He's very determined and disciplined, and he's a fighter.
After going through all that, it made me see all these kids start saying, oh, I don't want to go to school. I'm like, at least I'll get to go to school. Like, I'm having to sit here in this bed, get medicine pumped through me. It made me appreciate little things a whole lot more, and it put a whole lot, like, different value on a lot of things.
Adam didn't just beat cancer, stage 4 neuroblastoma cancer. He came back, he was able to succeed and finish school, impressively caught up academically and was able to graduate with his class on time.
Being able to beat cancer and being able to return to baseball and being able to graduate, I couldn't be more thankful. After college, I want to become a high school baseball coach because I want to be able to give back what I've received from everybody. I want to be able to teach what I know. I want to be able to help kids succeed in baseball and hopefully help kids win in baseball.
So, I mean, as far as I can remember, football's kind of always been my thing. So while I was growing up, it was just either me out in my backyard tossing around my friends or tossing the football with my family, my brothers, my dad. And it's just, there was always something different than almost anything else in the world that just drew me towards wanting to really play it more and more. In April of 2019, I was playing a spring scrimmage at practice, and I got hit and a weird way, and it left me on the ground.
When Carson first initially got hurt, we didn't think that it was going to be anything too crucial, got hit in the belly. But as we found out down the road pretty quickly, something that we thought was maybe not going to be too big of a deal turned into be probably one of the worst injuries that I've ever seen, to a ruptured bowel that looked like a gunshot wound had gone off in his belly.
I was actually in the hospital for 21 days, 10 of them being in the ICU. And they had to do an emergency incision down my abdomen and found a perforated bowel with intestinal fluid leakage, which further led to sepsis and 8 abscesses as well.
They said the word sepsis, which is very, very dangerous, and you're worried about people that coming back from such a thing. And
I was in a lot of pain for the majority of the 21 days. While me being not able to eat or drink, I lost over 50 pounds.
So as soon as Carson gets out of the hospital, his first goal is, how much can I move and how far can I push the envelope to get better?
It's too unreal to me to think that I couldn't finish up my senior year. You know, all the years I put in. So there was never really a thought that was gonna immediately just cut off, I'm not gonna be able to play again. It was, I'm gonna play again, when am I gonna play?
I nominated Carson Winters for the Ben Hogan Perseverance Award because Carson is perseverance. We'd see him up here at the summer conditioning camp, and he'd be doing the jogging that he could do. He'd be doing the body weight stuff that he could do, and then I'm hearing stories from all his buddies, hey, you need to go tell him to get him out of Lifetime because he's up there doing a little bit too much up there at Lifetime. You know, that's like trying to pull the reins back.
I plan to use this scholarship money from the Ben Hogan Perseverance Award to go to the University of Oklahoma to study business and eventually create my own business.
Just an unbelievable trip from April to we've got a full-blown football star on our hands come the end of the season.
Some people wonder if I ever had something that bad happen to me, like I wonder what people would do. And it's just an awesome feeling that I got to experience that and see how many people actually have my back. And it's just a beautiful thing.
So I started playing soccer when I was 5. My mom actually played semi-pro. My whole family, that's all we did growing up was play soccer. And so I was raised on it and I grew up with it.
Casey's always been kind of a mature soul, I feel like, coming in. She's just a good leader. She really steps up and she's really committed to the game.
And I'm here in Commerce to play soccer because that's what I love to do.
Casey has had multiple injuries and multiple surgeries.
Multiple different ACL surgeries. My first one, I landed wrong during spring training, and so that was my first ACL tear. I then had an incident 3 months into my recovery where I ended up falling off of my bike, and then I retore my graft.
Casey recovered from her second surgery, participated in the spring. She looked awesome, and we made it to the last game, and Casey jumps up and lands wrong, and she falls to the ground, grabs her knee, and Casey said, "Be honest with me," and we cried a little.
And then I had to have a 2-stage recovery with that. So I had a bone graft surgery, which was my third, and then 5 to 6 months later, I had my final ACL reconstruction.
I nominated Casey Sorbers for the Ben Hogan Perseverance Award because to overcome her 4 surgeries, to take a leadership role in a different way and step up for her team, to volunteer community service hours, to just hard work and ethic and learning, and she's just a prime example of exactly what perseverance means.
Being an athlete your entire life, it sort of becomes a sense of who you are and part of your identity. And the hardest part throughout all of these surgeries is that you're trying to reach that again, but physically you cannot.
She made it through spring and then made the decision that she was ready to compete and participate in that season.
I felt like I had gone through all of this. I'd gone through 4 surgeries, and I felt like I put in all the hard work, And through all the mental health issues, the physical issues, I really deserved to come back and just have my final season. And I did. And I'm really excited because I'm going to use this award to pursue nursing school, and so it'll also help me continue to do what I want to do with my life, because I think it's amazing, and I think what human bodies can go through and people can go through and then survive and then keep moving forward. I think it's completely fascinating. I think it's amazing, and that's something that I want to be a part of.
The Ben Hogan Foundation and its board of directors, along with Texas Health Resources, would like to congratulate Gabby, Adam, Carson, and Casey. We are excited today to celebrate your accomplishments, and we know Mr. Hogan would be very proud of you.